Sup guys. 2 years ago, I made my first game called Pogo Simulator, and today I'm gonna be remaking it from scratch. This is the first game I published on Roblox, and to figure out how much I've improved in the last 2 years, I'm gonna rebuild everything until I've completely remade the entire game. And that's when you guys can decide which one is better. But starting off with the first thing we have to remake, the basic mechanics. I started by creating a new project in Roblox, dropping in a pogo stick model, and scripting the jumping.
What is going on here?
After quickly fixing the bugs, the bouncing was working. Next, it's literally impossible to find a simulator game without coins, so now you can collect them too. These are coins, by the way, you just have to squint. Then I added in the first level of the map, which already looks so much better, and I replaced the yellow squares with actual coins and added some VFX so it's more satisfying. Next, I set up the UI so you can rebirth, convert coins into jump power, and buy new pogo sticks in the shop. And with that, the basic gameplay is pretty much done. But when I made this game 2 years ago, it looked like this and somehow got to over 7,000 active players. And accounting for inflation, today that would have been about 100,000 active players. Don't check the math on that though. Anyway, after this game first blew up, I had the great idea to add pets, but it literally took over a month and it didn't even work that well. So let's see how fast we can. One day. I literally finished the entire pet system in one day. Not only did I make this sick egg hatch animation, which I really like, but you can also equip and unequip pets. Just pretend that this is a pet model because I don't have any pet models yet. But I was able to create the egg hatch animation by cloning the egg into a viewport frame and then using some spring logic to make it look like it was bouncing whenever you click. See how it kind of moves like a spring? After that, I used a VFX pack from the toolbox to tween particles exploding from the egg. But comparing the two systems, I think it's clear which one is better. The old one, nah, I'm just kidding. Anyway, now that we have the pet system done, we can start focusing on the next thing we have to remake, the map. And to build the map, I recruited my good friend Model the Coolest to help, and after about 2 weeks, he finally finished it. Wait, that's it? Hey, over here! After he made the map, he also made a bunch of pogo sticks, and I got them into the shop, and it's looking like I want to grind this game all day. There's also some bangers in there like the plunger pogo or the bouncy stick or the gravity coil pogo, which were all named on stream by my viewers. Coco Pogo. Let's go. That's kind of good. Coco Pogo. Oh, and I also hit up my other friend Tearful to make some UI, and he made the rebirth, power convert, inventory. He made pretty much every single UI you see. And if you're wondering why it seems like I'm getting all my friends to do everything for me, it's because I haven't gotten any better at anything in the last 2 years. Just kidding. Kinda. Moving on, we've pretty much rebuilt the entire game, but instead of just stopping here, I wanted to add everything I wish I could have added in the original game. So the next thing we're remaking is my dreams for Pogo Sim 1. Starting with my first dream feature, potions. If you've never played a simulator before, potions pretty much just buff your stats for a few minutes until they wear off. And in my game, that's exactly what they're gonna do. So after getting my friend Hostery to make some potion icons and doing a little bit of scripting, you can now use the potions. Oh, and I also added the stats for whatever item you're hovering over, so you know how good it is. Wait, what is that?
The Among Us potion from the dark web.
But now that we have potions, there's no way to actually get them. So I added in these playtime rewards, and instead of giving you the same reward after 5 minutes, I made them presents, which are just gonna be a spin wheel, so every player will probably get a crippling gambling addiction. All right, let's see what I get. Oh, coins, are you serious? Dude, I'm leaving this game. Okay, 5 more minutes. But to make the rewards, I just threw a ton of frames into the scrolling frame, with one being your actual reward. And when you open the present, it just scrolls to the frame that actually has your reward in it. Next up, I added quests because who doesn't want to get 1,000,000 coins for jumping into the water 5 times? Or subscribing to the channel, which will also give you 1,000,000 coins. Just kidding. Anyway, now that we have quests in the game, I also added in titles that the player can get from completing quests. And my personal favorite is the Lord of the Rings, which you get after collecting 10,000 rings. Then I also made it so that whenever you enter a new area, it actually unlocks it. And before you unlock a new area, the egg and the teleporters for that area are blacked out and locked. Oh, and speaking of teleporting, if you've ever played Bubblegum Simulator before, they have this super cool teleporting UI. And I really liked it, so I pretty much just copied it exactly, and now you can use this frame to teleport to different areas. But what would a simulator game be without giant leaderboards on the side of the map so you can compare yourself to other people? Nothing. So I added leaderboards for the most coins collected, eggs hatched, time played, and Robux spent. But you may have also noticed that there's nothing in this game that we can spend Robux on. So I started scripting the shop, which will have all the game passes in it. But to spice up this shop, I added a supporter pack, which will give you random rewards every time you spend Robux. But my favorite thing that I added to this shop was the glizzy stick, because this is my favorite pogo stick from Pogo Sim 1. So I made it a limited pogo stick that costs 699 Robux, and there's only 699 in stock. This is so dumb. Anyway, if you've been keeping up with Roblox recently, you've probably played a game called Grow a Garden. And every week, Grow a Garden gets a huge amount of players because Jandel does his weekly admin. And I don't think I can make these crazy live events, but I'm gonna add in some admin commands so I can mess with people when they play the game. But there's a problem. I have no clue how to add admin commands. So after doing a bit of research, I found that Grow a Garden uses this free admin command system called CMDR. And after getting my friend to explain to me how to use it, I set up a ton of different admin commands. So now I can admin abuse people in the game and hopefully get 30 million players too. And then finally, I added some other random stuff into the game like codes, which if you use code SUPDOGGY, you'll get a cool reward. I also added settings so you don't have to listen to the same song on repeat for hours, an index so you'll get a reward for every time you complete an egg, and also group rewards so people would join the group. But now that we have all this cool stuff in the game, it's time to focus on the real issues. In Pogo Simulator 1, it was super easy to hack the game because I had no clue how to code and I made it extremely easy for people to cheat. So I spent some time and I added some anti-cheat functions so people won't be able to hack the game. After I did all that, I also started balancing the game, which took forever, and I probably spent over 30 hours playing my own game over and over again so that it wasn't too hard and it wasn't too easy so that people will like the game. But after a while, I finally got to a point that I like, and I think the game is ready for the next step. We've added all the features I wish I added in the original game and made it way better. So I think it's finally ready for testing. And in order to have the most effective test, I wanted as many people as possible as I could to test out the game. So I started streaming and I messaged everyone in my Discord server to come try and test the game. And this actually might have been a mistake. First off, when I made the game public, I had the server size set at 50. And almost immediately the server filled up and my game started lagging a ton because the game was not meant to handle 50 people. But after my computer stopped lagging, the testing went pretty well. People were saying they loved the game and it didn't seem like there was any game-breaking bugs, besides the fact that sometimes your pets would just stop in the middle of the map. But after stream, I fixed the bugs that people found and the game was pretty much done. But now that we had an almost finished game, I wanted to make a trailer so that people would see it and hopefully go play the game. And instead of making a trailer the easy way and just showing gameplay of me playing with my friends or something, I decided I wanted it to be animated. But I don't know how to animate, and this is literally my best animation.
Whoa! Hey!
And even though I don't know how to animate, this didn't stop me and I got right to work. First, I made a Tarantino level storyboard that had me and a bacon hair pretty much beefing over a pogo stick. To start working on it though, I made the first scene with the bacon hair walking out of the pogo shop. And this took about 3.5 hours for 5 seconds of the trailer. But after I got this done, I got more confident and finished up the rest of the trailer in one day. And after doing a little bit of editing, this is what it looked like. That's all you get. If you want to watch the full thing, it's on my channel. But you can definitely tell I animated this. But now that the game is finished and we have the trailer done, it's time to post the game. However, before I posted it, I started overthinking everything and I started questioning if anyone would like it or if it would even do well. I ended up changing a ton of different stats in the game, trying to balance it so the game would do better, but I ended up just making the game a lot harder and not as simple as it needed to be. So eventually I just reverted everything back to how it was before and got ready to publish the game. I accepted the fact that I wouldn't know how well the game would do and I can't control if people liked it. In my opinion, the game is a huge improvement from the first one and that's all that matters. So I woke up the next day and was very excited to release the game. But finally, we can post the game and you guys can play it. Then after I spent like an hour getting the game ready, it was finally ready to publish. Release now. Ready. Save changes. And that was pretty much it. When I released the game, it peaked at about 300 players because I had 300 people watching me on stream. And during stream, I gave away a ton of game passes and had a lot of fun. So overall, the release of the game went really smoothly and everyone seemed to like it. I learned that you shouldn't overthink something if you enjoy it and don't try to make something that's perfect. It's better to have something than nothing. But anyway, which Pogo Simulator do you guys think is better?